Okay, so I got the ignition back together. Didn't bother showing you. It was the exact same as the last saw. The ignition system was 100% identical. It's the same motor even. Just looks completely different the way people bought them off them, you know, and set them up. Just took this plate off to show you the carburetor in here, float bowl carb, buried down inside there. Anyway, my next thing is we'll take this carburetor out. We got to take this tank and assembly right off the saw, because to get the bolts, to get out the bolts for the carburetor, to get it out of this housing, they're at the very back. You get it when you take this tank off. Anyway, that's it for part one. This time I did something different. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. I didn't bother taking you along. I put a little bit of fuel down the cylinder after I got spark, give it a pull and fire it up. Just an easy way of checking to see if the seals are good. You know, you can have bad seals, you can have a bad cylinder gasket, you can have a lot of places. If they're sucking air, you don't stand much chance getting them going. Anyway, this is part one. We'll talk to you later. Okay, I got the carburetor out, the housing off, and there's one screw goes through. Sorry, trying to do this with one hand. Set this down. Sorry about all that. There's one screw right here. This plate comes up through the back. One screw holds that. This in from the back side. You got this rubber O-ring that seals it into here. Goes onto this intake of the elbow. Your reed plate's down in there. You get two bolts. Hold it to the crankcase. One bolt through here. A couple through this bracket, like the clamp goes over through there. Anyway, when this is on and your breather's shoved in through here, you can't see these two bolts. So you always got to be really careful. You see the two bolt holes, one there, one there. You got to be careful that you just don't go banging and smashing, because you wind up breaking part of the castings. Just, you never know where they're going to put stuff. Sometimes you have good luck getting the... There was a brass plug right there. That's where the needle and seat goes in. There's the seat. There's the needle. Pretty wore, but I don't have any more. I'll just clean all this stuff up, clean the bottom of the float pole out, reassemble, hopefully the seat works. This is just basically for something to do, not restoring it. I'll fire it up once, see how it runs, maybe in the warm weather sharpen the chain, try doing a cut with it. It's just something to do. If you want to put it back into service, like nobody'd want to put the saw like this back into service, but I mean, if you really want to use it a lot and that, you'd need to replace the needle and seat. They're hard to come by anymore. It's just not worth it to, you know, if I start it up now and don't bother getting it back out ever again to do ink with it, it's just not worth, you know, $25, $30 if you get lucky enough to find one. Anyway, I'm going to get at this, clean it up, we'll put it together and see if it'll fire up. When I get a bit more, I'll get back to you. Okay, it's all back together. I did a silly thing. When you go in here to take out the seat for the needle and seat, there's a washer. Don't do like I did, put everything all back together and find the washer in your parts tray. Anyway, make sure that washer's in there. And I'd like to, before I even try and start it, turn the fuel on. The fuel's on right now. I waited for a few minutes. It's nice and dry down there. Sometimes if the needle and seat isn't sealing, you turn the gas on, wait for a couple of seconds, and the thing will just start spewing fluid or fuel out sometimes. Anyway, that's it. So that's the end of part two. And as soon as it isn't such a swamp outside, we'll go out and start it up. We've had a lot of rain lately, and right now the ground out there, anywhere where you can stand, it's just like a sponge. The top part is unthawing. We've had so much rain, the water is just laying on top of the ground. So in the next day or two it maybe get colder or the ground dry up a little bit more. It's starting to dry up now, but as soon as I can, we'll take it outside and start it up. Till then, bye for now.